heartbeats calling their trust. Lend me your language, offer your time.
My next guest is Kathleen, and I am just delighted to talk to her in the United States. And what are we going to be focusing on today, Kathleen?
We're going to be focusing on a pet that has passed,
Yes.
a Yorkie.
Yes.
And then there's another Yorkie that's remaining, and I'm concerned that now it's just her, and concerned that she's going to be lonely, or we're just not understanding what she might need.
Yes.
And then also I was bit by a neighbor's beagle, and so what the heck is going on with that?
Okay, great. So we'll go through each one at a time. So the first one is the one who passed, and what was the name?
Her name is Nikki. Her name was Nikki.
Nikki, how old was Nikki?
Nikki was 16.
And how long ago did Nikki pass?
In mid-March, so just a little over a month ago.
Okay, you'll hear quiet for a moment while I find Nikki. Okay, great. So Nikki is doing great. Nikki's in a very kind of fast-moving, beautiful energy, great joy, and deep touch with you, though far away. Like the hearts are together, but not so much in the vicinity. Just doing what needs to be done in this next cycle of life, which is simply just to feel and transform and go through just a beautiful energy shift. Doing great. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Now, the other dog, so the other dog that's still here, Abby,
Yes.
is 13, and they were together for a long time. They weren't like joined at the hips, and sometimes we think they just tolerated each other, but now it's just Abby.
Okay, let me check in with Abby just a minute. Okay, Abby's doing fine. Abby was quite aware it was time for the other one to go and completely understood that. Abby needed a little downtime, even though they did have a connection. They actually were quite close in a lot of ways. I mean, their awareness of each other's consciousness, their awareness of what the other one was feeling and thinking was very, very strong. It's almost like being aware of someone else as though that one is part of you. So in that regard, they were very, very close. At the same time, the personalities were different enough, that the needs were different enough, that it's kind of nice to have some time and space apart right now. To them, it's not like finality. To Abby, it's not like, oh, that one's gone and it's forever. They're aware of eternity. And to them, they're just like in different locations right now geographically, but they're still aware of each other, but it's not that intense like you're my right arm kind of thing, and that was really needed. That space was needed, so it's okay. In terms of all that can be happening, and there can still be missing and adjustment. Let me see if there is anything uncomfortable for Abby. Abby just feels like at core there's not. You might see some adjustment because that's what we do. We adjust. Everything changes when someone leaves. But Abby's doing good. Yeah.
So we don't need to do anything different than what we are.
No, Abby's quite skilled at handling what Abby needs.
Okay.
Yeah.
She is.
Yes, you see it. Yeah.
Okay. And the third area is I was walking Abby the end of January, and suddenly the neighborhood beagle just came running across the street. I picked up Abby to protect her, and then this beagle bit me on the back of my knee. So first of all, what the heck was going on with that beagle? Because, we've been in the neighborhood for a long time, and the healing's been pretty slow. So any insight on
Okay,
that?
just a second. Because there was some anger that had nothing to do with you, with another person in the neighborhood. The beagle was affected by this. And so sometimes when we're feeling we get overwhelmed by someone else's energy, then we might do something out of character, or we might just do a quick reaction without it making so much sense. So you were kind of like an innocent, unfortunate victim of somebody got really thrown off by somebody else's anger. Not that the anger yeah, I'm not going to go too much into that because that's that person's business, and but that hopefully explains to you it wasn't so much about you, but let me see what's going on for you with that. Just a moment. It's really for you, it's just that the body actually needs some extra nutrients that you haven't figured out what it is yet. It's some supplements or some homeopaths, and it's for you to build a new kind of, in the bigger picture, it's for you to understand a new freshness, a new kind of energy. When you get the right supplements and homeopathics, it's an upgrade for you, for something to mend, and you'll understand viscerally how a new, refreshed level for you to exist in vibrationally is happening. But you have to seek that out with someone who's, and if you already have sought it out, you need to seek out it with someone else, who will tell you what the right supplements, whether it's a naturopath, acupuncturist, homeopathist, but someone who can help you with that. Because it's coming from the body. It's not coming from an emotional problem inside of you. It's coming from your upgrading into new vibrations, so the body had to have something happen to it. It happens all the time. You see people get sick, and everyone said, oh no, I'm sick, but sometimes you're cleansing, sometimes you're upgrading, sometimes tragic illnesses, I've seen it occur in a person or animal. Actually, it's just, it's the way on Earth sometimes we transition to our next phase and we come back even better than before. And I've experienced that myself. So that's what's going on. Sometimes someone attracts an illness due to an emotional problem that's unresolved, but that's not what's happening in your case. There's a lot of clearness in you. Yeah.
Do you have time for one more question?
Yes, I do.
Okay, so I have a skin condition called eczema.
Yeah.
And I've had it for several years, and I seem to be trying everything.
Yeah.
And haven't been able to clear it. So any insight on that?
Let me check. Okay, part of the problem is because you've been so frustrated that it hasn't worked and you've looked for emotional reasons that could be the cause. Actually, the main emotion affecting it is the frustration that you didn't find a solution yet. It wasn't something deeper like, my mother, the ancestor line. Yeah, isn't that funny? So you, I'm glad you're laughing. Yeah, give it up. Just give up your frustration. You have so much a clear, beautiful energy that doesn't even need to take that on. And then let me see what's left if you just, your skin's hanging on to that. Let me see why. Just a minute. You know what? It's become a feasting ground for anything because of the frustration. Then it's hard to let go. So it's the emotional part of that is an exercise. Just let go of anything I don't need. I don't even need to know what it is anymore, and let it go from my skin. But once again, I do feel that will go a long way. That will help a long way. But even though you've tried all these different things or whatever and it hasn't worked, I still feel you're not getting the right exact homeopathic or supplements that would actually do the trick. So I would look for someone who's really, really good at that kind of thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
My pleasure. It was a joy to talk to you. Thank you.
Thank you.
There's just so many reasons that can cause a problem, and we never know what it is until we look into it. And so I ask everybody who's watching, when you have a challenge, not to make assumptions, just to be open like this lovely woman was, to getting some new information and finding out what might help next. Thank you, everybody.
Mystery circles, mystery.